Hey, Susquehanna, welcome to the SCHS Works podcast. This is episode 15. Mrs. Stone, 15. Can you believe that?
That's a lot of episodes.
That is a lot. We've got a couple more in the works for this year. Actually, there's so much going on, and specifically so much going on in the guidance department that the next podcast is going to be all about career day with Mrs. Sletto. So
Perfect.
We want to plug that in early so the listeners can hear that before they tune us out. But welcome, Mrs. Stone. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I know, last week was absolutely insane, but I just have to say that it was a phenomenal week. It really was.
It was a great week. Lots planned. A lot of different events, but we got through it, and I think it was successful, and we're already planning for next year.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, last week was our Mental Health Awareness Week. Here, we're going to specifically talk about the high school, but obviously in the elementary school as well. Throughout that week, there was also the career fair. There was also the 6th grade move-up day. So maybe we'll touch on that 6th grade move-up day towards the end. But the district as a whole has a lot of supports for our students' mental health. And so while we're going to focus in on 1 week and what occurred in that 1 week, it's we couldn't move on without saying that that between Scranton Counseling, who provides services, between our school guidance counselors, adding in Ms. Vineski with our PCCD grant, there is truly a lot of supports in the mental health area.
There are, and I think that people get confused as to who does what when it comes to our school counseling department. And again, as school counselors, we are certified mental health providers. So Mrs. Milos, myself, Mrs. Davis, we all provide individual counseling, group counseling. We go into classrooms. We do education on mental health. So there's a variety of things that we do besides the scheduling and grades and, all of those type of tasks. We also, through the grant, were able to secure Ms. Vineski. So she acts as our mental health therapist. So when students need a little bit more than what the school counselors can provide, we can then ask Ms. Vineski to do counseling services. And then in addition to that, we have our school-based program, which is through Scranton Counseling Center. And that's a more intensive counseling service. So that would be when students need help not only at school, but at home and in the community. So again, we provide a lot of different services. We also work closely with a lot of outside agencies. So if there's students who want to receive counseling services but don't want to do that in school, we have lots of different referrals and different agencies that we can recommend to them.
But that's the difficult piece, right? Sometimes being able to see a therapist or a counselor outside of the district, there's quite often that long wait list.
There is. So what we've been doing as a team is we've been doing lots of brainstorming to see how can we get those counseling services to our students here. And there are telehealth agencies out there that we are looking into. We don't want to recommend something that we aren't really aware of or know if it's a good service. So we are doing some research, talking to different people who have been utilizing these services, and then we're hoping to be able to recommend those as well. So that will help with that wait list. With telehealth, you can get in a lot quicker than you can some of the local agencies.
Yeah, hey, that makes sense. So, hey, let's jump into last week. Fill me in, because there was a lot.
There was a lot.
And I jokingly said at one point last week, I absolutely love what I'm seeing, but I have no idea everything that's going on, because there was just so much.
There was.
So, in a nutshell, take me through the week.
Well, first off, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we decided to zone in on just 1 week and do a variety of different activities. And again, it's bringing awareness to our students, to our faculty, about mental health and trying to remove that stigma. So number one, the first thing that we did was just try to educate them. We got on SNN every day. We gave some information about mental health. We had different stations set up throughout the school. We had a positive affirmation mirror. We had a thank you station. We had resources every day at lunch with stickers and information about different mental health topics that kids could come in. And it's amazing how many stopped at the table, asked questions, wanted more information about things. So again, it's just getting that information out there. Some of the fun stuff that we did, we wanted to set up a sensory room and just a place where kids could come in and kind of chill out and take a breath. So we opened it up to our study hall students with teacher permission. They were able to come in, and we had a variety of different activities that we did. We were able to make stress balls. We had a sensory area with all different types of bins that had sensory things in them, just calming. We had coloring station. We had puzzles. We had music playing. I mean, it was, at times it was controlled chaos, I would say, and then other times it was very chill. So there were moments when it wasn't ideally exactly what we had pictured because there were so many people in there, but the kids loved it. And I was so happy that it was popular. All of them really wanted more. So we did that on Tuesday, and then we did it again on Friday. Huge success. We're really considering for next year trying to do like a Feel Good Friday, where once a month we bring back the sensory room because the kids really liked it.
Can I give you a little honesty?
Sure.
So when you guys first said, hey, we're going to do the sensory room, we're going to have like different types of beans, we're going to have sand, we're going to have these different things, you know what was going through my mind?
I'm not sure.
What was going through my mind was, yeah, I don't know about this. All right, we're talking about high schoolers, like making in. So I'm sitting here just kind of saying, all right, well, hey, they want to do with it. We're going to run with it. So can I just publicly say that you guys were 100% right?
I appreciate that.
And so I mean, I guess I had some faith in you guys to just be like, hey, whatever you want to do, run with it. But it was really, really cool to see, you know, these young adults in there, you know, sitting down with 2 or 3, sometimes even more, different students, and just having that time to kind of de-stress, have very nonchalant conversations, you know, just kind of off the cuff as they're sitting there making those necklaces or those bracelets, or, you know, they're making those stress balls with the sand. It was very cool to see.
It was, and I was really happy to see that it was a wide range of students too. It wasn't just, you know, a particular group of students that came in. I feel like we got 7th through 12th grade, males, females, like just a variety of students. I was really happy with the representation that came in.
Like it wasn't like a posse came in together.
Correct.
It was random kids coming together that you wouldn't necessarily see having those conversations on a day-to-day basis.
I would agree with that. You know, different individuals that don't necessarily, they're not friends, or don't interact very much, whether it's because of their schedule or whatever, we're interacting and having conversations, and it really was a great experience. And that's why I really feel like we need to bring it back more often. The kids really responded to it.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. That would be awesome. But it's a heck of a lot of work.
It is.
So
and
you know,
messy.
when you guys are sitting there thinking about doing it, you know, next year on a more regular basis, you just gotta remember there's a lot of prep that goes into that, and somebody has to do it. So, you know, thank goodness for Mrs. Slido.
Other things that we did, we also had a therapy dog come in, which the kids were ecstatic about. Unfortunately, our therapy dog had just had pneumonia the week before. So when he came in, the dog got tired really quick and wasn't able to go through all the lunches. Our idea was to have him down during the lunch periods where he could kind of be outside, and the kids could go right outside the doors to be able to see him if they wanted. And some of our students were able to do that, and some missed out and were really, really disappointed. So we have talked to Don, our security guard, that's who owns the therapy dog, and we're going to be bringing him back in, hopefully
Oh,
before
awesome.
the end of school.
Awesome, because it was cool to show up that morning and have a dog out front the high school greeting you. I got slobber all over my pants, but it was great. It was absolutely great. And then at the campus evacuation drill, he was up where all of our students walked right by. So that was cool, and it's cool to hear that he's going to be back, so kids can get engaged with them.
Absolutely.
So another big hit was lunch and a movie.
Yes. Yeah. So we played during the week, not every day, but we had in the auditorium set up the movie Inside Out, which we thought was appropriate for the week.
Yeah.
And the kids love just being able to bring in their lunch and chill and watch the movie and chit chat. And I was a little concerned. We have brand new carpet in the auditorium. I'm like, oh, there's going to be spills. Are they going to leave stuff behind? The kids were fabulous. Everything was spotless. It was cleaned up. They were respectful. And I think they really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so too. And, I don't want to jump to prom here, but you just said that the kids were fabulous. And that's, the DJ that we had at prom always says that our students are the best behaved. That, he goes to other schools in the local area. I don't want to mention them by name, but the local. And he says that our students are just polite. They're appropriate, and he just enjoys the heck out of being at our school events. So when you said hey, these kids were great, yeah, and we're seeing that across the board.
We are. We do. We have great students here. I am very proud to say that I work at Susquehanna, and when we go different places, different people will comment on that. I mean, we were at Montdale for prom, and the wait staff also made it a point to come out multiple times and just say how lovely our children are.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Somebody asked me how prom was, and I said it was easy. I'm like, what do you mean? You're at a high school prom. Aren't there issues? I said, no.
Nope.
There were zero issues, which is great. So that's just testament not only to our students, but to the parents and grandparents that are out there doing a heck of a job with them.
Absolutely.
So let's get back to Mental Health Awareness Week here for a minute.
Sure.
You guys also had some daily, I don't want to call them challenges, but that's probably a word that we could use.
We did.
I remember making the announcement one day where the challenge of the day was do something nice for somebody who needs help. And kind of just throwing out there that everybody needs help at a certain point in their life. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to need something. So find that person that day that needed help and do something for them.
Yeah.
And man, you just think about it. If half the people in this building, not even half, if 25% of the people in this building had that mentality every single day, what a great place
it really is. And you know what? I do feel that we do have students who do that. They go out of their way to make sure if somebody's having a bad day to try to lift their spirits. But it's just those reminders, we're all busy and we all kind of get into our own heads and our own worlds and everything that's going on. And sometimes we forget to look and see what else is going on around us. So just kind of putting those challenges out there, just reminded oh yeah, it is a good thing to kind of reach out when people look like they're sad or upset.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It means a lot. It really does.
Yeah, sometimes it only takes, one person having something positive to say to you that could make, the rest of your day go so much better. So in the chaos of last week, Mental Health Awareness Week, there's also 6th grade move-up day. And you are in control and run and plan 6th grade move-up day. Again, I just like to show up and look good from time to time, but you do all the work to plan it. So I think the 6th graders did very well in the day.
They did great. We had a great day. We had lots of fun. They came over. Of course, they're very nervous when they come over here. And they're kind of starstruck when they see all the big kids, walking in the hallway. It always seems like when they come, the bell rings and the hallways are full and they're just wide-eyed, my goodness. But they settle in pretty quickly. We have our 11th graders from National Honor Society come in, and they are a huge help in running the show. We do team building activities. We do a tour of the school, and while they're doing a tour, they do a scavenger hunt to make it fun. Then they're able to go in and have lunch, which honestly is usually the scariest things for our sixth graders coming into seventh grade, is they're like, what do we do at lunch? Where do we sit? And it's just overwhelming to them. So having them be a part of our lunch it just eases their nerves a little bit. Then we come in and we do a presentation, and that's really when our 11th graders take over and answer any possible question that the incoming 7th graders have about high school. Homework and grades and teachers, and how do we get from one area to the next in 3 minutes, and how do we open a locker, and there's just a ton of questions that they have, and the best people to answer those questions are our current students.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they're not going to feel comfortable with the locker until they're probably 2 or 3 weeks into school next year, no matter how much practice they get until they actually go through it. But I like the scavenger hunt. That's just a really cool way of getting the students around the building, and it's not just let's go from one room to the next. And it's cool that they get to go in small groups for that with the high schoolers, who are acting kind of as the quote-unquote tour guides. So it's just, it's a fun activity. It's a small group of students. They're getting through the building, seeing different areas. We get pictures of them here in the Inspiration Lab that I will get up on Facebook. Sixth grade move-up day. It's just, obviously a cool photo for parents to have, for the scrapbooks and for those graduation boards. And
we have lots of pictures coming this week between mental health awareness, all the different activities, prom, move-up day, career day. You're going to be busy, Mr. Soden.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. But so I get a chance to talk to the sixth graders. And obviously, I won't be in this building next year because I'll be moving back down to elementary school. But the one piece of advice that I give to the sixth graders around discipline is going to hold true no matter who's here. And that's, you can avoid a referral simply by stopping when you're asked to stop. If somebody says, hey, please knock it off, and you do, your life is going to be good. So that's the one message to the sixth graders as they're moving up. Simply accept redirection, and life will be good. It's when you don't accept that redirection that consequences will follow. And those consequences, are progressive in nature. But again, it was a fun day. I saw a couple of the sixth graders outside of school after the move-up day, and they seemed to be good with everything. Still some nerves until you actually go through it. But.
Of course, but we'll have them back at our open house, and we'll do a little 7th grade orientation for our 7th graders and their parents. They'll be able to get their schedule, their locker. They'll be able to practice opening their locker. They'll be able to meet every one of their teachers. So that helps too, and that's right before school starts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're here all summer, so anytime someone wants to stop in, just shoot me an email, and we'll make that happen. If you need to come in, wander the halls, see our cleaning crew in action. But hey, let's talk sport physicals while we wrap this up, because fall sports signups are taking place. We've already had a day of sport physicals. We have another one coming up at the end of May, and I've been promised that there will be 2 more free sport physical dates later July, early August, to accommodate anyone that's late in signing up. So I know I threw out a message that said, hey, you've got to be signed up by this date. Not 100% accurate, because they are going to be adding some more days if you want that free sports physical. But check out our previous episode of the SCHS Works podcast for step-by-step directions on how to sign up for those spring sport or those fall sports. Mrs. Stone, thanks for joining me.
Sure.
I appreciate it. We'll see you next time, Susquehanna. And remember, work's the cure.